Ever wonder what happens when an old-school, hard-as-nails Marine gets one last shot at glory? Well, buckle up, because today we're diving deep into Clint Eastwood's 1986 classic, Heartbreak Ridge. This isn't just a war movie. It's a story about a man against time, a clash of generations, and the unbreakable spirit of the Marine Corps. Our story revolves around Gunnery Sergeant Thomas Highway, played by the legendary Clint Eastwood himself. Highway is a relic, a decorated veteran of both the Korean and Vietnam Wars. He's seen it all, done it all, and has the scars and the salty attitude to prove it. But in the peacetime Marine Corps of the early 1980s, his tough-as-nails approach is seen as outdated and borderline insubordinate. His superiors can't stand him, and he's constantly clashing with the new, more bureaucratic way of doing things. After a final drunken brawl and a night in jail, Highway is given one last chance. A final assignment before his mandatory retirement. Whip a reconnaissance platoon into shape back at his old unit in North Carolina. When Gunny Highway arrives, he finds that his new assignment, the 2nd Reconnaissance Platoon, is less of a finely tuned fighting machine and more of a disorganized, unmotivated, and utterly lazy bunch of misfits. They spend their days listening to rock music, slacking off, and generally disrespecting any form of authority. Their leader, the charismatic but rebellious Corporal Stitch Jones, thinks he runs the show. These young Marines have never seen combat and think Highway is just another old man to ignore. They are in for a rude awakening. From the moment he steps into the barracks, Highway makes it clear that things are about to change. His methods are brutal, unorthodox, and completely shocking to the new generation. He starts their first day by firing a live AK-47 over their heads to teach them the sound of enemy fire. He enforces grueling physical training, non-stop drills, and a level of discipline they've never experienced. He's not there to be their friend. He's there to turn them into Marines, the kind that can survive when things get real. The platoon, of course, rebels. They try to get him thrown out. They even hire a massive local tough guy named Swede Johansson to intimidate him, who eventually joins the platoon after Highway soundly defeats him. Stitch Jones and Highway are constantly at odds. Stitch sees Highway as a washed-up dinosaur, while Highway sees Stitch as a punk with wasted potential. But slowly, grudgingly, the platoon starts to change. They see that behind the harsh exterior and the foul language, Highway genuinely cares about their survival. He's not just making their lives miserable for fun. He's forging them into a cohesive unit. He teaches them practical, real-world combat skills that aren't in the official manuals. Skills he learned the hard way in the jungles of Vietnam and the frozen hills of Korea. While Highway is battling his platoon, he's also fighting a war on a personal front. He tries to reconnect with his ex-wife Aggie, who still lives in the area. She is a fiery barmaid who left him because she could unhandle the life of a career military spouse, the constant deployments, and the man the Corps had turned him into. Their relationship is a witty, emotional roller coaster. He's still deeply in love with her, and he tries to win her back with his clumsy, old-fashioned charm. He even starts reading magazines like Cosmopolitan and Vogue to try and understand her perspective, which leads to some hilarious and surprisingly tender moments. This personal struggle shows a softer, more vulnerable side of the tough-as-nails Gunny. Meanwhile, on the base, Highway is in a constant battle with his commanding officer, Major Malcolm Powers. Powers is a by-the-book officer, a staff and logistics man who has never seen combat. He despises Highway's unconventional methods and sees him as a dangerous liability. He's constantly trying to shut Highway down, undermining his authority and threatening to end his career. Their rivalry represents the central conflict of the film, the battle-hardened warrior versus the peacetime bureaucrat. Who really knows how to prepare men for war? The man who has lived it, or the man who has only read about it? The platoon's platoon sergeant, the college-educated and well-meaning Staff Sergeant Webster, is caught in the middle, trying to mediate between the two clashing styles of leadership. The training intensifies. Highway pushes his men to their absolute limits. There is a particularly memorable training exercise where he forces his men to use their personal credit cards to call in an artillery strike from a payphone because the official radio is, you guessed it, tied up in red tape by Major Powers. It's insane, it's hilarious, and it perfectly illustrates Highway's get-it-done philosophy. Through shared hardship and Highway's relentless pressure, the recon platoon finally starts to gel. They develop a grudging respect for the old Gunny. They see his methods work. They start to look, act, and think like a real combat unit. Stitch Jones, in particular, begins to see the wisdom in Highway's ways and starts to step up as a true leader. Just as the platoon is hitting its peak, world events take a sudden turn. The United States invades the island of Grenada. Suddenly it's not a drill anymore. Highway's platoon is activated and deployed. This is the moment of truth. All the brutal training, all the arguments, all the blood, sweat and tears are about to be put to the test. On the ground in Grenada, the situation is chaotic. They immediately come under fire. But this is where Highway's training pays off. While other units are struggling, Highway's platoon operates with shocking efficiency. They are disciplined, they are effective, and they are fearless. They know the sound of enemy fire because he made them know it. They know how to improvise because he taught them how. Stitch Jones proves to be a natural combat leader, using the skills Highway instilled in him to save his fellow Marines. Their main objective is to rescue American medical students trapped at a university and surrounded by enemy forces. Major Powers, true to form, wants to wait for orders and follow standard procedure, which would take too long and put the students at risk. Highway, knowing that time is critical, takes matters into his own hands. In a classic ask for forgiveness, not permission move, he and his platoon commandeer a local bulldozer to use as a makeshift armored vehicle and charge the enemy position. The final battle is intense. The platoon fights with incredible courage and skill, a testament to their transformation. They successfully overcome the enemy, secure the university, and rescue the students. In the heat of the moment, even the by-the-book Staff Sergeant Webster embraces Highway's aggressive tactics. They complete their mission, proving that Highway's old-school methods were exactly what they needed. In the aftermath, even Major Powers has to begrudgingly acknowledge Highway's success. The men, once a bunch of lazy slackers, are now celebrated as heroes. They carry themselves with a newfound pride and professionalism. They finally understand what Gunny Highway was trying to teach them all along. He didn't just teach them how to fight. He taught them how to be Marines. Returning to the States, Highway prepares for his retirement. His platoon, now a disciplined and battle-hardened unit, gives him a heartfelt farewell. Stitch Jones, now a respected NCO, thanks him on behalf of all of them. The torch has been passed. In the final scene, Highway meets Aggie again. Having seen him on the news and understanding his world a little better, she's ready to give their relationship another try. As Gunny Thomas Highway walks off into the sunset with the woman he loves, he leaves behind a legacy, a platoon of men he forged into warriors, ready for whatever comes next. Heartbreak Ridge is more than just an action movie. It's a character study of a dying breed of warrior, a tribute to the grit and tenacity of the Marine Corps, and a genuinely funny and touching story about leadership, redemption, and the clash between the old ways and the new. It's a true Clint Eastwood classic that still holds up today. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Heartbreak Ridge, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next video. Let us know in the comments what movie you want us to break down next. See you then.